Welcome back to Broadway World's Next on Stage, sponsored by Broadway Records. And I'm your host, Richard Ridge. Last week, we announced our top 15 from our high school group. And now we're back tonight to announce our top 10. Our top 10 tonight received the most votes from our second week of voting, which opened on October 19th and closed last night at midnight. And you voted them into our top 10. And now our judges will provide them with valuable feedback for them to use in their next performances, which will be voted on by the public next week. The judges will also review performances from our bottom 3 contestants who didn't make the top 10, giving one of them a chance to compete for a spot in our top 5 and for your vote. Now, we'll be showing you shortened clips of each performance, but if you want to see a performance in its entirety, head on over to broadwayworld.com/nextonstage. Now let's welcome back our distinguished judges. Please say hello to Ariel Jacobs. Let's welcome back Kyle Taylor Parker, and let's give a big hello to Brittany Johnson. Welcome back, judges. How are you?
Doing great.
Look at this. I love this, Brittany. You got your blue screen going on behind us. Ariel, you got your backdrop. And Kyle, you zhuzhed up your backdrop too. So here we are. Judges, are you ready for our top 10?
So ready.
So ready.
Okay, here we go. First up is Sarah Lepre. She'll be singing They Just Keep Moving the Line from Smash. She wants to give a big shout out to her mom and dad for always supporting her. Judges, enjoy Sarah.
Till it's time to drink the wine. A toast to resurrection, but they just keep moving the line. Please give me some direction, 'cause they just keep moving the
Okay, Judge.
Wow.
Sarah. Ariel, I'll start with you.
Sarah, yes, stellar performance. First of all, I don't know that song. But I love that song, and I think that you have incredible talent. Your voice carries. You have such passion when you sing. You have the breath support for ages. I love that you could just carry these phrases and these notes and they just keep going. Your tone is so clear, and you're a joy to watch. I love watching you perform. I feel like I'm there with you. There's one thing that I would say you could play with, and you did this so well last week with the Hello Dolly song. Like getting the new thought every time you got to. I felt like I could watch you get the new idea before you said it every time, even though you were always talking to that same person. I would love to see more of getting the thought before you say the lines. I would love to see more of getting the urge and the impetus to say the next thing because you need to. Right now, it's a little bit like you already know what you're going to say. So I would play a little bit more in that zone of spontaneity and like getting the ideas before you sing them. But other than that, fantastic.
Beautiful. Kyle, for you.
So great. You have a great voice, great intention. I was here for the full performance. I love that song. Big shoes to fill, and you filled them. Something to think about. In a song like that, the music fuels us so much, and we can hear what the main emotion is, which is that angst, right? So I challenge you in all the songs that you sing to find a moment in the song to play against the emotion, the main emotion of the song. So when is she going to revel in the idea of like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it, and I'm going to love it? You know, where's that one moment where you can play against, and it will add texture to your performances?
That's great. Brittany, for you.
Yes, I agree with everything that's been said. It's pretty much everything that I had written down. You are so captivating to watch. I think that everything that Ariel and Kyle just said, it's just going to make your performance that much more nuanced, which is going to just draw us in a little bit more. So exactly what Ariel said, find the discovery in all of these things. It's the first time that you've said it. It's not the first time that you've sung it, but when you perform it for us, it should be the first time that you have these thoughts. So in these moments of discovery, you can find the nuance, you can find the moments to pull back, you can find all of the different levels and textures, like Kyle said. But great job.
Perfect. Great way to kick off our top 10. Next up is Hayden Peterson singing I'm Your Man from Dear John Doe. Judges, enjoy.
You want fireworks? I'll give you the 4th of July. Lots of luck finding somebody better than I. Who could do it? Maybe Dorothy Parker's free. Sheep, you blew it. She ain't got a thing on me. Front page headlines. Ruth Mitchell will land on her feet. Come tomorrow, some editors in for a treat. Just say the word, and that's my beat, brother. I'm your man. Watch out, New York. Here comes.
Judges, oh my gosh, Hayden.
Wow.
Brittany, I'm going to start with you this time.
Oh my goodness. Hayden, you are going to be such a big star. I cannot wait to come and watch you on Broadway. You're phenomenal. The only thing that I would say that I think can take your performance to the next level is kind of similar to what we were saying with Sarah, is find your different nuanced intentions so that we don't have just one played emotion the entire time, especially at the beginning. I feel like there's an opportunity at the beginning to play maybe a little bit, maybe like a secret, like you have a secret and you're holding it back until you tell them what it is. It gives us something to look forward to, because you give it to us at the end. So like, make us earn it, make us come to you a little bit more. Great job.
Great. Kyle, for you.
Oh my goodness, so great. You are wonderful. I agree with what Brittany said. Also, you have the most expressive eyes. Like so. It's so great to watch you, and they pull us right in. That's just genetics. So you won. But I'll also say, to piggyback on what Brittany was saying, to add to the layers of your performance, and this is George C. Wolfe says, it's easy to be good. It takes a series of tiny details to be brilliant. And so that's what we're doing here, is just polishing you up. I would say maybe you can find a moment in the song. You're so open. Maybe you find a moment where you go to the inside, where you're talking to yourself, like that moment where you had that laugh. Are you laughing with the person you're talking to, or is that a moment to yourself where you're like, and it's going to be so great? You know, those things make it more human for us.
Great. Ariel, for you.
I don't have much to say. Hayden, I agree with everything they've said. And Brittany, like what Brittany said, I can't wait to see you on the Great White Way, because you are meant to be on Broadway, obviously. You have this joy and this confidence when you sing. And okay, aside from your beautiful voice and your stunning eyes and your expression and the way that you have a very clear environment when you sing, which I absolutely love, and I can see the whole environment that when you take in everyone around you, and everything around you. I just want to applaud you for having no apology in your performance. And I think that that's one thing that a lot of young performers struggle with, because a lot of young people, they haven't yet had the experience to know that they can just be themselves and be fully committed and they'll be believable. But I think you already know that. And I see in the song encourages you to have this confidence and this swagger because of the lyrics. But I think aside from that, you actually bring that in your performance in general, and we saw that last week too. So just keep doing that. Keep bringing fully yourself, because you're already doing it, and you don't have to apologize for anything. And you have everything that you need to take us on a journey. So congrats.
I just got goosebumps from that clear environment. From the second it starts, you believe everything she's saying, where she is, and she just presents the whole beautiful world that she's created.
Yeah.
Really sensational. Okay, next up we have Charlie Wade singing If I Didn't Believe in You from the last 5 years. He'd like to give a big shout out to his mom, dad, and 3 sisters for their unending support. Judges, here's Charlie.
Don't we get to be happy, Kathy? At some point down the line, don't we get to relax without some new tourist to push me yet further from you? If I'm cheering on your side, Kathy, why can't you support mine? Why do I have to feel I've committed some felony, doing what I always swore I would do? I don't want you to hurt. I don't want you to sink. But you know what I think? I think you'll be fine. Just hang on and you'll see. But don't make me wait till you do to be happy with you. Won't you listen to me? No one can give you courage. No one can thicken your skin. I will not fail so you can be comfortable, Kathy. I will not lose because you can't win.
Okay, judges, Charlie. Kyle, I'm going to start with you this time.
Awesome. Such a great voice. Charlie, so great to hear you sing this song and this material. This is tricky material. And normally the kind of thing that you would say that someone your age may be too young to play, because it's about this 5-year relationship. But this is where the as if really can save us when we think about how it applies to our life and what we're singing about. And I think you did that very well. It was clear to me your story, and I bought it. I believed it. Some things to think about in using this for an audition cut. You chose a great moment in the song to sing. Like, this is where it all launches. But what that means is you have to meet the music emotionally and in your mind. So you have to make the band play, if that makes any sense. So here's a trick that I use. It's a driving question. And the driving question can push you through the song and really just amp you up. And in a song that has so many questions, in the lyrics, you can just use one of those. So before you sing, in your head, example, you can say to yourself 5 times before you start singing, don't we get to be happy? Don't we get to be happy? Don't we get to be happy? Don't we get to be happy, Kathy? And it will, the last time you say it, it's the thing that's been bubbling under the surface, or whatever that question is for you. But you have to spark the fire to make the singing happen. And that's the theater of it.
That's terrific. Eric, for you, I love that, Kyle.
I love that, Kyle. I love every time you speak, I'm like, ooh, gems. Ooh, what do I do? Tell me what to do. Okay.
Broke the fire.
Charlie, you can sing and you can act and you are spectacular. And I felt like I was watching you in a conversation with your girlfriend. I felt like your presence and your connection to the person you're talking to is so strong. And I want to, I think I'm going to see you on a big stage, but I also want to see you on a screen, because I loved just how intimate and real and present you could be. So you're going to do lots of film and TV, I'm sure, too. So the one thing that I would say is always make sure that you know what the other person is, what is the other person doing to cause you to respond that way. So I saw that you're talking to someone specific, but there were moments where I wished that you were responding to them either walking away from you or them trying to interrupt you, or something that could really spark the next thing that you're about to say. Like when you ask the question, won't you listen to me? When you're saying that, what is she doing to make you think she's not listening to you? So little things like that, little details that you could put in the imagination of what you're seeing is just going to spark that performance and just make it come to life even more.
Terrific. Brittany, for you.
Yes, yes to everything. I feel like I'm in a math class, frankly. Yes. Um, Charlie, it honestly, it really is. It's so captivating to watch you. You have a very clear person that you're speaking to, which is the most important thing for me. So thank you for giving me that. Um, if I could give you one more piece of advice that you haven't already gotten, I would love to see the love that you have for this person. I would love for you just to have in your mind the fact that at one point this relationship was really good. There was joy and happiness and love there. And so while you're saying that you're leaving, you're not going to fail just so that, she doesn't hurt. There's still support and love that you feel for this person. So it's like, I don't know if you have ever been in love, or maybe you have a sibling, maybe it's somebody that while you're saying I can't do this for you anymore, you're not trying to break them down. So I would love for you to just have in your mind this overarching memory of the love that you feel for this person.
And if I may, for everyone who's watching, what Brittany just said, that's playing against the main emotion, what we talked about earlier. And that's the hard stuff. But that nuance right there is playing against it. On the page, it's obvious that this is a fight. But what Brittany just said, leaning into the love instead of the anger, that's when all of a sudden we're in the conflict. We're in, we're watching something happen.
And I think whatever you can do to raise the internal conflict within yourself. So if you're so upset with this person and you want them to listen to you, and maybe the obvious emotion is frustration, if you heighten the opposite emotion within yourself, there's that tug of war. And we want to see the tug of war play out. We want to see it play out. And that's what a real song where you're trying to solve something is an internal tug of war. So that's just making it even more exciting.
So I love this. What you said to him, he's such a young kid. He's in high school. And this is, like you said, like Kyle started, this is a really tough song to sing for anybody to do. It's such an emotional journey they're on with the relationship. And this young boy, Charlie, delivered so beautifully. And what you're giving him are these fine-tuning nuances just to take it to the next level. Really sensational. Okay, here is Renee Elkady singing Once Upon a Time from Brooklyn. She wants to give a big shout out to her family, her coaches and friends for supporting her and shaping her into the performer that she is. Judges, enjoy Renee. That's our Renee. Listen, Brittany, I'll start with you.
Oh my god, Renee. Oh my goodness. What a voice. Oh my goodness. Like, I'm stunned. Your voice is so beautiful and clear. You have such control over it. I mean, the ways that you were bouncing between your registers, like, I'm so impressed. I don't think I had that control over my facility at your age. So incredible. So what I would say to make your performance better, it is so tricky to start a song from a note that big, vocally and emotionally, because you have to hop right into to the height of the song. You don't get to actually build to it. And that might be just where we came into it and what we're seeing. But nevertheless, I was most pulled in to your performance when you were speaking directly to a person. When you said the moment when I saw you here tonight and you looked over and it was clear who you were talking to and how you felt about them. And I wanted that for the whole performance. I wanted it to be clear that you were speaking about this person that once upon a time has never felt more right because of you. I wanted you to give that to us. I think it would I hate using like raise the stakes. It feels so generic, but now that I'm on the other side hearing it, it makes the most sense to say. I think it would just give us more to invest in. There it is. I would feel more invested if I knew that you were speaking to someone specific. And then you would earn all of the crazy vocal pyrotechnics that you're giving us at the end, which is amazing to hear, but I want to see why you need to sing it like that. Does that make sense?
Yep. Kyle.
So great. Wow. I agree with Brittany. I thought that I was singing like that when I was your age. And in fact, I was not. Your voice is incredible. So great. You're going to do such great things. A little challenge for you. 2 challenges. Next week, I would love to hear you sing a song with more story, more verse. I bet it's also where we popped in. We popped in on the vocal fill part, but on what Brittany was saying, like, you're so engaging when you're really just connecting with another person. I think a song with more lyric will help us. The second challenge is I really want you to start giving intention to your riffs. You have the kind of voice that you're going to be asked to sing a lot of songs those riffs are all written in the song. So now your job is to give intention. Why is that riff there? What does that riff mean? A riff is an expression, but you have to know what the expression is. I always wonder when people play Elphaba, what are they doing on the, what's the intention? Are they casting? Is that the final spell they're casting? Is it like a sigh of like relief because now they finally feel free? What is it? And no, if you know it, the work will happen. You don't have to show it, but you have to do the homework to know it.
Love that. Ariel, for you.
I didn't hear what he said because I couldn't hear him, but I loved reading his lips and it was very animated. Renee, you are so talented. And like Brittany said, your voice is so stunning and you can sing everything. And I can hear like all the technicality that you're doing, and the adjusting is so specific and meticulous, and as a singer, very challenging. So kudos to you on that. The one thing that I would say is, like she said, you're starting at this really loud, intense, emotional place, and you end at this really loud and intense, emotional place. I love how celebratory you got at the end too. I think I've talked in the past about how we want to see you become more and more on the road to celebration and like commitment and wonder and discovery. And I can see that journey for you and I can see that build, but I want to see more of the build. So I want to see you come down even more so that I can feel like the smallness of certain parts of it. And then when you get that big at the end, it's going to feel like an even bigger journey. But it really depends on how small you can make it as well. I don't just mean vocally. I mean, it might get vocally small, but why? Because it's a more internal place of, maybe it's a quiet moment of discovery or whatever it is. But figure out how to create even more extremes in your emotional performance that will reflect in your vocal performance so that we can build something.
Interesting. What you didn't hear Kyle say, Ariel, he gave her 2 challenges, which were really incredible, to do a number that has more lyrics. And the second one was finding the intent and the emotion in the riffs. Because when you find that, she has that in her voice already. And when you have the emotion and the intent, they'll just fly even higher than they do now with the intent.
Yes,
So
definitely.
And I love she color coordinated herself with her outfit and her backdrop, which I thought was really interesting. Those 2 white pillars on the side of her, like that beautiful, like red wine or whatever, that like colored backdrop with her beautiful top that had those colors in it. So kudos to Renee. Okay, so moving on here. Next up is Gabriel de los Santos. Or next up is Gabriel de Los Santos. He is singing Being Alive from Company, one of my favorite songs. He wants to give a big shout out to his mom, his vocal teacher, and to his high school music teacher. Judges, enjoy Gabriel.
Me with the love. Somebody forced me to care. Somebody let me come through. I will always be there, as frightened as you, to help us survive. Being alive, being alive, being alive.
Yep.
Gabriel, Ariel, I'll start with you.
Gabriel, wow, you can sing everything. You have a voice of the gods. I love your performances because I just want to hear you sing everything to me. You have such power. You have such breath support. Your tonality and your vibrato and everything is so beautiful. I can't wait to see you keep developing more and more as a performer. One thing I would say is, as you sing this song, think about what this song is so iconic, right? A lot of people have heard this song. So, and everybody loves this song. But what makes it special, what makes your performance special, is going to be how to make it personal. We always talk about that. So when you're talking about being alive and it's repetitive and it's over and over and over and over, what does that mean for you? Like when you say alive, maybe you've done this homework, but I would say keep going in this direction. What does alive look like? What does alive feel like? When you say being alive, what is it that you imagine that you want to feel, or you want to, from an outsider's perspective, if you see somebody in your world who's, oh, that person is alive, they are living life to the fullest, or they feel so many things, what do they look like? And then have a very clear image and feeling that you're trying to reach for. The more clear it is for you, the more you can make it more personal for you. And the more personal it is for you, your performance is just going to tenfold its impact on people. Because if it's personal for you, it'll reach people and make it personal for them, even if their idea of alive is totally different than yours. Honesty is honesty. So if it's honest for you and it's personal for you, it's going to reach people. So go dig in that play sandbox of like how to make it personal for you. And that can start with really figuring out what the specific lyrics mean, especially if it repeats over and over again.
Got it. Kyle, for you.
So great. Oh my goodness, your voice is like butter. I could hear you sing anything. Thank you for this musical theater choice. I think, too, I agree with everything Ariel said. I think this is a song kind of similar to the Last 5 Years song that most people would not expect someone your age to sing and buy it. But I bought it. Keep working in that direction. Here's a little tip for everyone. Pay attention to but and ands in lyrics, because those can be great launching points to the biggest part of the song. But alone is alone, not alive. Fueling you through to the next section. So just invest in the but a little bit. Mm-hmm. Just a little tip. That's all.
Love that. Brittany.
Yes to everything that's been said. Gabriel, I want you to make like a nighttime CD so that I can listen to you on my way to sleep. Your voice is just, it's so rich, and your eyes are so expressive, and it just like, you're captivating.
Yeah.
The little trick of having such expressive eyes is that we're watching them the whole time. So the moment you're not sincere, we notice. The moment you're not specific, we notice. So it's like Ariel was saying, we have to be so clear on your perspective on what it means to be alive. And I mean, you're in high school, so you haven't been alive as long as some of the rest of us. But I mean, even as simple as, what does it mean to wake up and have breath in the time of a pandemic? That's something we can all relate to right now. So at the end of the song, it's a celebration of the fact that you woke up this morning. It doesn't have to be like this huge, it doesn't have to be anything that's like huge and like life or death. It can be something small that you're grateful for life. I think that's what Ariel was trying to get you to. It's just like, we just have to know what your perspective is. So, and I was looking for just like a little bit of the joy in being alive at the end, because it's like you go through all of this like emotional journey and alone is alone and all of these things and oh God, but like, oh my God, being alive. And it's just like, you just take that deep breath and just like enjoy the fact that you're breathing. Just, yeah, find that joy and that celebration at the end of it.
I love that. It is a perfect song, like you all said, for the time that we live in now, of just being alive and getting through this pandemic. Like you said, we've all heard being alive, and everybody has different interpretations of how they do it. But what a great choice. Like you said, Brittany, like, use it now for the pandemic. Really wonderful. Great choice. These are high school kids. I mean, I'm watching all your reactions, all three of you, and you're like, oh my God, I want to work with these people. And like you said, I want them to make a CD for me to go to sleep with. So talented. Oh, up next is Kian Debenham singing Dentist from Little Shop of Horrors. He wants to give a big shout out to his girlfriend, Lucia, who has always supported his singing. Here is Kian.
That's when my mama said, she said, my boy, I think someday you'll find a way to make your natural tendencies stay. You'll be a dentist. You have a talent for causing things pain. Son, be a dentist. People will pay you to be inhumane. Your temperament's wrong for the priesthood, and teaching would suit you still less. Son, be a dentist. You'll be a success. I am your dentist, and I enjoy the career that I picked. I'm your dentist, and I get off on the pain I inflict.
That was hilarious. That's our Kian. Oh, but Brittany, I'm going to start with you.
Oh my goodness, I loved that. Kian, you're so funny. You're so funny. Like, I was laughing out loud. I would love to know what your equivalent of being a dentist is. You have such a sweet face, and I cannot imagine that you enjoy inflicting pain on anyone. But I believed it when you were saying it, but I just need it to be a little bit more personalized. I need to know, because then I think that you'll find those little moments of like snickering joy. They'll sit a little bit deeper in you, and it'll make it seem that much more sinister. You won't have to play the evil in it. Because if it was one thing that I actually wanted a little bit more of, it was like that, like, you know, like, I can't think of the word, but you know what I'm saying. It's like the, oh, I'm creepy and evil, but I like it. You know, you were almost there. And I think that if you just personalize what these little things mean to you, that it'll be phenomenal. It's already phenomenal. I mean, I'd take it as it is, but just for a little bit more.
I love that. Creepy, almost there. love that. Fabulous. I love that saying. He'll get that. He'll totally get that. Kyle, for you.
Oh my goodness, so funny. And also, congratulations. What big growth from last week. I mean, last week we were talking about get more in your body, really embody the song. You feel the voice feels disconnected from the hands and the rest of your being. And this time you so went for it. It was a character that you were building and playing, and you understood the intention of the song. I was so with it. Also, I've never heard the song sound like that. Which I thought was brilliant. You brought yourself to it. You didn't try to sound like the other things that we've heard. So here are a few little tips in moving to the next direction. One thing is something for you to play with in your own life as a singer. How much vibrato you decide to use and not use. I don't know if you ever played with not using as much vibrato. I'm just inviting you to do that in your life to see if you like the sound. Because not everything calls for the same heavy vibrato or light vibrato, different parts of your voice. It's a whole instrument. The other thing that kind of piggybacks what Brittany was saying was, sometimes when I'm playing a character that is such a character like that, I'll try to think of things that I have seen and say, okay, this character is like 2% Bugs Bunny, 3% Dr. Evil, and 5% Pavarotti. And then I go into the song. So maybe if you can characterize this dentist with like 3 things that you've seen, your impression of them, right? And then that's your way in to like what the character's mannerisms and things are. But you're great. I really enjoyed it.
I love that. Creepy from Brittany and Pavarotti from Kyle.
Okay, Kian, that was so fun. Love. I just like Kyle was saying. I saw you free up. I saw you really be like fully in your body. That was incredible, and it was such a great comedic performance that I burst out laughing. Definitely burst out laughing. I loved your dancing part, and I loved how much fun you had while doing it. I think I've talked about this before. About how when you're playing a quote unquote evil character, how important it is to be focusing on the thing that you love, the thing that the character loves. Like in Aladdin, you know, people can play Jafar like he's evil, but other people can play him like he just loves the idea of power. And so you want to always be playing for, you know, focusing on the thing that you love, even if you're evil. So that was really good because you did that, and I saw how much you loved inflicting pain and how it was joyful for you. A couple of things I would say: you can go further when you play different people. So there was a point where you were talking about my mom says this, and then you went back to speaking as yourself. And I think if you wanted to, you could make them more different. If you wanted to really get to, I don't know what that looks like because I'm not you, and this has to be your expression. But if there is a way for you to make them feel like you're going from one person who's telling you something to then becoming yourself again, I think that would be really interesting to see. The other thing that is fun to play, because Kyle was talking about vibrato and when to go straight tone and when to not go straight tone. The other really fun thing to play if you're doing something super charactery is how far you go with exaggerating consonants, right? So you could be like, I am a dentist, and like, what are you going to add to make it even more over the top? Because I kind of feel like it's like Princess Bridey, kind of like how far this character goes. You could really go really far with it. So don't be afraid to allow the words and the lyrics and your expression of that to even be over the top as well. But that's a great time.
Yes. And if I could sprinkle just a little bit more, yes to everything that was just said. And if there's this one actual like really Pavarotti moment when you just are holding this note and you're like doing something crazy. If you can start us from a place that's a little bit smaller and then build to that, really earn it, and then give us what you were giving us for the rest of the performance, I think that would give me the cherry on top of the sundae you already have delivered.
And I have another idea for that moment because it's so long and it's so big. And we're always trying to infuse more comedy, more comedy. So if you wanted to like start that really big note and then sing, 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 take a breath, keep going, sing, 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 and then let it keep running into the next phrase, the next line. Because I know you had to breathe before that next line started, and I didn't want you to, but it would be really funny if you took a breath in the middle of that long note, kept going, and then you could continue into that next line, and it would be really fun.
I love
I
that.
agree. Do that.
Creepy, Pavarotti, and consonants. I would love to see him throw all those three things together and come back and do this. He's risen the most, I think. He did a whole, like, whatever it is, 1,000% from last week's video to this. It's like the lights are brighter, his eyes are sparkly. I mean, he just raised the bar. Don't you agree?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's terrific. A totally different type of song than what he did last week.
Yep.
Really great. Like you said, I love when you all give them challenges. Like Kyle's really big on the challenges. Like next week, do this, do that. So, do this type of song. So really great what you're offering everybody. Singing Woman from the Pirate Queen, here is Ava Nicole Francis. She wants to thank her supportive friends and family for always pushing her to continue onward. Here is Ava.
But when you have a dream and you're caught in its grip, you can climb aboard a ship. You can for your man. You can reach towards that place where the earth meets the sky. Fight a battle, be brave, be true. If you can do it, why not I meant to fly, sail unrestrained. Why is man free and woman chained? Is that my epitaph before I die? I should be free, free to be grace. I want to feel the wind on my face, and when life beckons, I should go. Face out the storm, not stay below. Am I to be just woman? No, not I.
And there's Ava. Brittany, I'll start with you.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm stunned. Ava, your voice is so powerful. It cuts through me. You have this control, and your face is so expressive. I am so impressed by you. Oh my goodness. The notes I have are really technical and small. I was a little bit distracted by your background. If you could remove those pictures so that I can just watch you, that would help me. That has nothing to do with your performance. It just when you're auditioning, it's best to have a clear background so that all we're looking at is you. I didn't even write anything down because I was so captivated by your performance. You might have to come back to me because I'm
Okay.
come back to me.
I felt like she was singing in a museum, right? Ariel, we'll move to you, and Brittany, I'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Yes. Ava, like Brittany said, you have the voice that can just pierce, and it's so good. It's so good. Your technique as a singer is so good. So I have no notes on that. Just like, if you want to keep, the one thing that I would say, you can play a bit more with the vocal dynamics, because I see the emotional dynamics and I can see the why not I statements and the defiance combined with going to the joyful places of wonder that all these things that you love. I can see the up and downs. And I think that if you brought the voice down to like moments of, I don't know, it's like your voice carries so much and it's so big and so beautiful, but I want to yearn for those moments. And if it's all I get, then it's less impressive than if I hear you get quiet and I hear you have still clarity while you're in your quiet places of thoughtfulness, and then it explodes with joy. I think that you can add a bit more of those up and downs with the singing. Besides that, I think that you're ready to take on any stage.
That's terrific. Kyle, for you.
Glorious, glorious, glorious voice. Wow. And you're just starting, and you're going to get to know that instrument even more the more you sing. So incredible. That's all I'd say about the vocal. Some ideas, and these are just ideas, because again, what we said before, when it's this good, like all of you this week, we're just raising the stakes, right? In the sense of just getting 1% better is huge when you're at this level. So I would say an idea about a song with this many questions in it is that you have to get clear about, are you asking those questions to yourself? Are you speaking to another person? You're asking to another person? And because this is what adults do sometimes, everyone does it really, but sometimes you're not really asking a question, you're making a statement. So that why not I, is that really a question on the inside, or is it you have something to prove and it's more of a statement to the other person? No wrong answers, but you just have to make the decisions.
Beautiful. Brittany, you want to add something?
Yes, I do. I agree with everything that Ariel and Kyle just said. I think what's going to help, because I do want a little bit more of a nuanced performance vocally, I think what's going to help is to find moments of introspection. Like Kyle was saying, when are you talking to yourself? When are you talking to whoever it is that you're talking to? And if you can find those times to kind of to break it up and ask yourself a question and ask them a question, it'll naturally, I think, do what we're asking you for vocally, and it'll just add some layers, because I think what the layer that you're giving us is so impressive that I want to know what else you can do so that I can be impressed when you pull this out. I also want to say, be careful. You have a little bit of what I call a perma frown. Some people have a perma frown, some people have a perma smile. This one was a little bit of a perma frown, so that I was a little bit confused in how you felt about it. Sometimes you were smiling, but your eyebrows were telling me that you were still angsty about it, even though you were smiling. So one thing that I like to do, because I do that too sometimes, just try to sing it and just put your finger right here so that you can notice, you can feel it, just so you can be aware. Obviously don't record it that way, but just when you practice, so that you can notice what your face is actually doing and if it's going against your intention. But great job.
Love that. These are great. You three are wonderful. Look at this masterclass, you three. Okay, singing Gimme Gimme from Thoroughly Modern Millie, here is Jalen Gargrovich. She would love to give a shout out to her voice teacher, Enid Gonzalez, for pushing her to be the best version of herself, and her Roxy Theater Group for being her second home. Judges, enjoy Jalen.
Gimme, gimme that thing called love. I crave it. Gimme, gimme that thing called love. I'll brave it, thick and thin, rich or poor time. Gimme ears and on more time. Gimme, gimme that thing called love. Gimme, gimme that thing called love. I'm free now. Gimme, gimme that thing called love. I see now fly up Saint Sparrow. Gimme Cupid's famous arrow. Gimme, gimme that thing called love. I don't care if he's a nobody. In my heart, he'll be a somebody, somebody to love me.
Judges, Jalen. Ariel, I'm going to start with you.
Jalen, I love this song, and you sound beautiful on this song. Thank you also to your voice teacher for encouraging you to sing, because we all need that voice and that performance. I loved everything. I love the technically your backdrop looked clean. Everything looked clean. Your video, everything was so good. Let's see. There was a little point in the beginning where I thought, oh, I want a little bit more eyes, a little bit more eyes. And I got what you were doing with the thinking, and then to the camera because you're like more certain, and I love that. But whenever you're thinking, even if it's thinking and there isn't as much conviction to it, remember to think up. And I know we've talked about this before. I know Kyle talked about this last week, but as much as you can, think up. As much as you can, try to figure things out. Try to figure them out up here as opposed to down here. Just that little shift is going to really like invite people into your space even more. And I encourage you to even get like more playful. Allow yourself to get super playful. Allow yourself to be like overtaken by the joy, which just makes you go like loosey goosey, or just makes you like whatever it is. When you're talking about Cupid's famous arrow, like, do you like how do you really let yourself be overcome by these ideas that are larger than life? You can just do whatever sometimes when I sing this song, I think about myself like as I'm like a cartoon, and like if I'm a cartoon, like what does my body do when I get hit by an arrow? Like silly things, but it doesn't matter because you're in love, so you can go as far as you want to go, and that's it. Like your voice is so great, your performance is just going to soar the more you get in the freedom of allowing yourself to just go anywhere that you want with it, no matter how silly it feels.
Love it. Kyle, for you.
So great. I agree with everything Ariel said. So great. You sound lovely on this song. I would say that something that we can all think about whenever we start to sing is the essence of a song. If you can identify the essence of the song, then you can embody it. And so the same thing we were saying last week, we were saying something similar about embodying the song. This is a song about, the obsessive desire to be in love and how like almost the greed of a thing like that, right? Like, and so that's a big, I don't know if I was able to talk about that at 16 years old when I was in high school. So it doesn't have to be about that. What's something that you really, really want? It could be for Broadway to be open again. It could be for us to be, for you to be here doing a show with Sutton Foster, right? And how badly do you want it? And I want you to go even further than you think you have to go. The voice is gorgeous. The voice will be gorgeous. Now let yourself be a fool. Let yourself be a cartoon about it. Really play. And so next week, I would love to see you do a funny song or something that you would never imagine yourself doing, right? And have fun with it.
I love that. Brittany, for you.
Yes, I completely agree. One thing that I feel like I wanted more energy. I wanted to feel like you were like sitting on something, like the thing that you crave is right in front of you, but you just can't get to it. Like it's behind a screen or something. And you just like you say, I crave it. What does that mean for you? What is something that you crave? Like if you think about this song as if it's in 3 acts, and in the first act, you're craving that thing, whatever it is. If it's Broadway to be open again, if it is chocolate ice cream, like it doesn't matter. Like what is the thing that you like really just crave? If in the second act, because the second act, you repeat the same thing, but instead of I crave it, you say I'm free now. What are you free from? Are you now in the space with the thing? I don't know. There really isn't a right answer. It's just a question to ask yourself. What's the difference in the second act between craving and now being free to enjoy it? Let me see you enjoying it. And if in the third act, the third act seems like you're kind of speaking to someone and you're trying to convince them why it's so important that you have this thing, or that you get to keep it, or that you deserve it, or whatever it is. The third act is you defending why you deserve this thing. So make each of those 3 acts something specific and something that you can personalize, so that we know what it is, when you get it, when you're wanting it, and if at the end, do you have it? You don't have to. It's not like there is no right answer, but I want to know if at the end, if you get the thing that you want.
I love what you all said last week too. I'm sure some of these performers like, oh, I don't want to go over the top. I don't want to go too much. So you walk that fine line, but a song like Gimme Gimme, I mean, you just have to watch, Sutton Foster doing it on, YouTube or whatever and say, oh, this is that kind of song, right? Like you said, Ariel, you could be a cartoon. You could be this. Kyle, you could be that. Brittany said you could be that. So just go for that in a song like this and go over the top with the feelings and the emotions and the craziness, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
as long as it comes from an emotional, as long as it comes from an honest place, right? You don't want to say, oh, if I was a cartoon, I would go like this because there's an arrow. And if you're thinking like, I'm going to do this physicality because that feels like that's what a cartoon would do, it might come off as being over the top. It might come off that way because it's not coming from an emotional inside place. So having it come from a place of no apology, which was what I talked about before. If you honestly feel this thing and you don't care that you feel it and you let yourself be a fool, like Kyle said, if you let yourself be a fool and you feel it and you let it happen because you feel it, then it's going to be honest. But it has to be coming from inside and letting it be expressed.
And it's not like cooking, they say like if you put too much salt in, you can't take it out. No, theater, this is the opposite. Put all the seasoning in, you're surrounded, you have a coach, you'll eventually have a director, you have us, you'll have other people who watch it and say, okay, great, but you can pull it back a little bit more. It's easier to pull back than it is to like just throw and this is to everyone. When you're performing, throw it all on the line. It's an extension of you. Give us all of you.
I love that. No apologies. I love that you've all said that at some point. Go for it. No apologies. Up next, singing Oh Look, Being Alive from Company, it's Maya Taylor. And she wants to thank her mom for putting up with her singing. Judges, enjoy Maya.
Someone to hold me too close, someone to hurt me too deep, someone to sit in my chair and ruin my sleep and make me aware of being alive, being alive, someone to need me too much, someone to know me too well, someone to pull me up short and put me through hell and give me support for being alive. Make me alive. Make me alive. Make me confused.
All right, judges, Maya. Kyle, I'm going to start with you.
Wow, so great. I love hearing you sing the song. We love your voice. You were so grounded, which was really, really great. And it's great to see in a young performer. And clear storytelling. Here's something I think that might tune up this performance, but I think it's something you might be able to use on other performances as well. In this, I felt the opposite. I felt like because you are such a buoyant energy, that if you just focused your eyes on one spot, instead of, okay, here's a better way to say it. I felt like the approach to this song was that you were putting together the pieces of like what it might be like to be alive. And that was really clear to me. But I think because you are a young performer, it would be more striking if you knew in your core what you want. And so you focused your eyes on one place and you just stood and delivered and told them exactly what you wanted to be. And you knew it and let the song just go. So you can do less with your eyes and just send the message is what I would think.
Beautiful. Ariel, for you.
Yes, I wrote down a similar thing because I would just in the last time we spoke, I said not for Maya, but for Ava. I said, think up, look up, look up, and then here comes Maya, and she's looking up, and I'm like, but I also want to know who you're talking to. I also want to see you connecting to someone. So I wonder if there is someone specific that you're talking to, and if Kyle, like Kyle said, if you know what you want. And I loved the voice. Of course, your voice is so beautiful. And I know how big it can get. And I also, in this performance, I could see how small and conversational it can get, which is so awesome to have both, to have the facility to do both. Yeah, I also saw you looking at one spot consistently, which I wonder is because you had lyrics there. And I am definitely guilty of this. I have definitely like sung a concert online and I put my lyrics there and I think nobody can tell. And then I go back and look at my video and I'm like, oh, you can see, I'm like checking the lyrics. This isn't good. So if you need to put your lyrics somewhere, maybe try to tape them right underneath the lens or something so you're not going sideways. But ideally, you already know the lyrics and you've internalized them all, so you already know what you're going to say. But yeah, your performance is so good, and I think it's just going to be heightened even more when you really solidify for yourself who you're talking to, and you can allow that to be keeping you present.
Beautiful. Brittany, for you.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Your voice is so stunning. I can't imagine that your mom is putting up with you at all. I think she's enjoying every minute, every time you sing.
Yeah.
I agree. I was distracted by how much your eyes were moving. And I think what could help, in addition to knowing who you're speaking to, is to know who or what you're speaking about and to build it. If you literally think about it as if you're building the person from the ground up. If you want I can't remember the lyrics, but if you're, someone to hold my hand and you see it, you see them, you build their hand and they're reaching out to you, and then you see this other thing in them. And so it keeps it very small because you're watching it happen in front of your eyes and you're seeing it happen. And that will pull us in and allow us to actually just focus on what you're saying and to enjoy your voice in a much more simplistic way. Because I love that this song, in its repetition, you still gave it so many colors. And one thing that, for this performance, but also in general, when we have songs that repeat, either they repeat the same lyric or they repeat the same melody, how does it build? What's the difference every time you say it? There has to be a new thought every time you say it, or else why are you saying it again? Maybe the first one it's more to you. Maybe the second time you're more asking, you're pleading. Like what is it that makes you have to say it again?
All right, judges, rounding out our top 10, here is Aluchi Wakori singing He Wanted a Girl from Giant and wants to give a big shout out to her hometown, the city of Jackson. Judges, enjoy.
He wanted a girl who hates dusty roads. He wanted a girl who cries porcelain tears. He wanted a girl who put locks on the door to protect all those gemstones she's got in her ears. But I am a girl who likes dusty roads, and I am a girl who enjoys the outside. Yeah, I was that girl who could keep up with him and would follow him anywhere he chose to ride. And we would ride, barreling through the gullies, pitching tin and chewing jerky, showing off our scratches and favorite scars, teaching me to hold my bourbon, coaxing me to play my fiddle, making up songs and singing them to the stars. We'd laugh ourselves to sleep. That's something I can keep. That's something I can keep in my heart.
What a way to end our top 10.
Yes.
You're fanning yourself. I'll start with you.
I am a wreck. I am a wreck. I am a wreck. I wrote So Good a million times. Huge. I wrote I am a fan. Huge. It's so good. You're just so good. The tone of your voice, I'm obsessed with. I'm like, there's that. Then this week, I feel like this performance is so human, which is a really hard thing to achieve. I've never heard this song before. Now I only want to hear you sing it. I felt like the song belonged to you. That it was really a story, it was your story, and it was coming from you. And that's what we all are trying to achieve here. And the three people on this call, that's what we're trying to achieve here too, anytime we sing. So kudos to you for that. I mean, I'm useless in giving you anything to work on right now because I'm so beside myself. I just think that you're going to do such great things. Keep going. Okay, so if I can give you a challenge, because that's what we're about, I would say now next week I want to see you be funny. I want to see you either do a funny song or a patter song, maybe something of the Sondheim variety. I would love to see you challenge yourself in that direction. You're a superstar. You're going to do it all.
Alucci, wow, this like every time you sing, I feel like what Kyle said. I just want to hear more of that tone. I just want to. You don't need to do anything more. I just want more of it because it's so good. Wow, I have never heard the song either, and I felt like it was so personal. It felt so coming from you. I also loved how you are so good at filling those silences and those moments before a line with a thought, because I can see you having a thought before you said a line, and that is like the number one thing that makes me feel like you're really alive in a performance. So you did that, and that was so good. I guess I would say, because I don't know the show, I didn't know who you were talking to. So if there was some, if I don't know, I didn't know who you're talking to. Maybe you do know who you're talking to, but for me it wasn't clear. So I would encourage you to have like more of something that you wanted from a specific person, and also have more of a visual of what they are doing and saying in the middle of the song and in the middle of your lines. What are you reacting to? And I mean, besides that, it's such a little thing that you can add that can make the storytelling even more magnetic than it already is, because you're such a superstar. So no matter what, you're gonna be doing amazing things. Your career is gonna be incredible. So these are just like little things you can add, or not add, but things you can think about. Who are you talking to? What are they doing? How are they responding to you? What do you want from them? And let that drive you to say your line every time. You have such great thoughts when you fill your spaces to yourself. But what are your thoughts that you're filling your spaces with about the other person too?
Beautiful. Brittany, for you.
Yes. Oh my God, Alucci, I was this close to my screen watching you, because you're so captivating, because you're so human. It's like you have mastered how to be simple and full of life. It's so difficult. It's so difficult, and you just do it with ease. And I think that one thing that can add to it, as humans, when we're working through things, we don't just have one opinion about it. We're not just happy. We're not just upset. There are levels even within each of those emotions. And I think one thing that can help you heighten that performance is, especially during the second part of the song, when you start talking about who you are, maybe think about, because I've never heard this song before, but what I got from it is that there's some kind of unrequited feelings going on. So if in the second time when you're talking about who you are, maybe find a little bit of the tension in, this is who you are, but it's not what he wants. So how do you at the same time feel good about who you are and feel a little bit pained about the fact that who you are isn't what he wants?
Yes.
It's just it's like finding the push and pull, the tension, because that is human, and that's what will elevate it.
We've been talking about that this week so much. Increasing internal conflict. How can you feel the opposite things within yourself that make you need to sing this song?
Yes. And in addition to who are you talking to? What do you want from them? I feel like this is a good opportunity to see their reactions, and do you get what you want? How do you change your tactic to try to get what you want? And then do you get it? Do you not? What do I have to do now to try to get what I want? And so that we're very clear about your opinion and who you're talking, like what you really want from them. Because it's so good already. Like, these things are just like nitpicky to just add a little bit of sprinkle on top of something that's already so good.
I love that. Adding the sprinkle. That's really all it is. It's fine tuning. It's like, it's shining the diamond. That's all you're giving these. This is the top 10 high school. They all listen.
Insane. It's insane.
I can't imagine if you guys are auditioning for college soon. I don't want to be one of those judges. Like, how?
Just take them all. That's what should be done.
I would want them all.
Okay, so that's our top 10. Now, when we come back, our judges will see performances from our bottom 3 performers who will then battle it out for a spot in the top 10. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our judges will now see performances from our bottom 3 performers who didn't make it into the top 10, and maybe they'll move someone along. Okay, up first, here is Yale Langworthy singing Donnie Nowitzki from Bandstand. Enjoy.
Donnie Nowitzki, accordion genius, plays weddings at 7 years old. Then the piano, like fish take to water, by 9 it's Fats Waller down cold. Tunes of my own start to work themselves out, I'm a 12-year-old Irving Berlin. All of that promise and none of the payoff, I'm still playing weddings that taking my day off from bumming around drinking gin. They say cream rises, but what if nobody tasted? If that cream rises, then spoils, it's gonna be wasted. But Donnie Nowitzki could be Frank Sinatra if someone would give him a break. In fact, I'd be better, cause I play piano and he can't read music the fake. Donnie Nowitzki spent 4 years in battle, I carry the scars when I croon. Frankie Sinatra skipped out on the army and half the time sings out of tune. He's so flat. They say cream rises, but what if nobody knew it? If that cream rises, then rots, then somebody blew it.
Up next is Natalie Wiley singing I'm Not Afraid of Anything from Songs for a New World. Enjoy, Natalie.
Listen to the calling of excitement. Can you feel the pounding of my heart? The lights are ready, pulse is steady. I can start. Never stop the calling of the challenge. Blessing on the water and the stones. And David loves me. He's afraid to tell me. David loves me. He's afraid to trust me. He's afraid to hold me. And he'll always be. He's afraid of me. And I'm not afraid of anyone. I'm sure to win with anyone at all. I'm not afraid of anyone. Not a soul alive can get behind this wall. So let them call and watch them fall. 'Cause after all, I'm not afraid.
Finally, here is Mairead O'Neil singing One Perfect Moment from Bring It On. Judges, enjoy.
Bring down the panic, attack this routine like it owns my soul. Turn up the music so loud that it swallows us whole. And then there we are, we burn like a star. We're safe inside the world we know. Suddenly I'm in prep for the climax.
When we come back, our judges are going to share who they want to save from the bottom three. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Judges, have you decided to save somebody this week from the bottom three?
We have made a decision. It was really tough because all three performers were really, really unique and special, great performances. But we've decided to bring Mairead to the party. We really loved your storytelling, and we're excited to see what you do next.
That is terrific. Now, is there one word that you will offer? Like last week, you were so wonderful and so succinct of what you told everybody. Is there a word each of you have this week for this top 10 to move on to the top 5?
Yes.
Ariel, I'll start with you. What's your word this week?
My word is 2 words. My words are no apology. I want you all to move forward in your performances, your auditions, whatever you do, even in your life. If you don't do performing, whatever it is that you do, move forward without apologizing as you do it. So full commitment, no apology. It's going to take you from watching yourself and observing yourself to being fully present in the moment. And if you do that, people will really go on the journey with you.
That's sensational. Kyle, for you.
My word would be essence. I want you guys to invest in the essence of each of these songs, identify them, and then embody them.
Beautiful. Brittany, for you.
My word is also 2 words. Internal conflict. It will bring more humanity to your performances because that's natural. That's who we are. We always find ways to feel so many different ways about one certain circumstance. So find the tension and the conflict within your one intention.
Beautiful. Judges, you were sensational as always. What an incredible week. Congratulations to everyone who is moving on to the top 10. We'll be back next week on October 29th at 8 p.m. to announce who's making it into the top 5. And make sure to follow Broadway World on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to find out when the next round of voting is open to the public. Good night, everyone. Stay safe. See you next week.